The UFC isn't just a sport, it's a pressure cooker of pride, legacy, and ego. One bold call-out can tilt the entire division. One lost fight can shatter careers. And right now, the air is thick with tension. Kayla Harrison just climbed to the top, defeating Juliana Pena and claiming the bantamweight title. She didn't wait. She immediately set her sights on a legend, Amanda Nunes, a name that commands fear and respect. But before anyone could get excited, Demetrious Johnson chimed in, waving a red flag. According to DJ, Kayla might want to retire while she's ahead. He didn't just question the matchup, he questioned whether Kayla had any business in that conversation at all. Kayla didn't flinch. In an interview with MMA Junkie, she said it loud. She believes in herself, and no one, not even her idols, gets to decide her ceiling. She called out the double standards and made it clear, confidence isn't arrogance, it's survival. She added that her rise isn't built on borrowed hype, but on relentless work. I've bled for this. I've sacrificed too much to listen to doubt, she said. In her mind, it's not a matter of if she deserves the shot, it's a matter of when. But while Kayla defended her rise, another former champion had a different kind of message. Kamaru Usman, the man once feared as the most dominant welterweight on the planet, was asked about Bilal Muhammad, specifically whether he's in Usman's comeback plan. Usman's response: direct, cold. There was no bad blood, he said, but also no reason to fight him. Bilal no longer has the belt, and without gold on the line, what's the point? Usman even joked about needing a side deal to make it worthwhile. Legacy, not sentiment, drives his decisions now. He's not here to build someone else's momentum. He's here to reclaim what's his. But someone else picked up on something different entirely. Buckley, who shares the UFC Atlanta main event with Usman, said he felt a shift in the energy. During their face-off, Buckley noticed the subtle tells: a deep breath, a quiet tension, an edge of hesitation. Buckley lives for moments like this. He feeds off nerves, off weakness, real or imagined. And now he believes Usman is hiding something behind that stoic exterior. Buckley, sensing a crack in the armor, is more motivated than ever to exploit it. While Buckley prepared for war, Mike Perry was reliving one of his own. He talked about the time he sparred with Sean Strickland. He didn't sugarcoat it. Sean is heavy, relentless, and brutal in the cage. Perry, known for his own pressure-heavy style, had to dig deep just to make contact. But it wasn't just about fists, it was about respect. Sean invited him to ride dirt bikes and shoot guns, a wild Vegas welcome. And Perry, bruised but impressed, called it one of the most exhausting but eye-opening rounds of his life. That kind of respect doesn't come easy. It's earned in blood and breath. Meanwhile, someone else didn't even make it to the gym. Darren Till revealed that Nate Diaz had personally called for a fight. He set the weight. He chose the date. Till jumped in, ready, camp started, and then Nate vanished. No fight, no explanation. Silence. Till then turned to other names: Tyron Woodley, Jorge Masvidal, Mike Perry. Either they weren't interested or they priced themselves out. Perry apparently offered €350,000, then demanded 5 times that, and now Till sits ready while his challengers scatter. He even hinted that if no one steps up, he might just take a fight outside the UFC to stay sharp. Because inactivity, for a fighter like him, is worse than losing. But some fighters don't walk away. They just admit the truth. Aljamain Sterling openly said he didn't want to fight Jailton Silva right now. Not because he couldn't, because he didn't want those problems. Silva is on fire, dangerous, rising fast. Sterling met him backstage after a win and basically said, "Not today." It was an honest, rare moment in a sport where fighters rarely show hesitation. And it made headlines. Fighters talk legacy, but few acknowledge fear. Sterling's transparency gave fans a glimpse behind the curtain. Then came the criticism. Ray Longo stepped in with a bold accusation. He said Ali, after losing to Merab Dvalishvili, had been protected all along, given a path to the title without being tested. No grapplers, no war-hardened opponents, just clean strikers who played into his strengths. That, Longo says, was a mistake, because once real adversity hit, Ali couldn't adapt. And you can't fix that with 3 months of training. Experience in war can't be rushed, and when it's missing, it shows. Still, amidst the finger-pointing, one name keeps surfacing with respect: Kamaru Usman. Gilbert Burns, a former rival and close friend, said he hopes Usman wins. Badly. He remembers the wars they shared. He remembers the training. And he believes Usman still has what it takes if he gets back to wrestling. Burns says Usman's downfall came when he tried to become a striker. The blueprint, he claims, is clear. Mix it up, wrestle to confuse, then strike when the guard drops. That's the version of Usman that once ruled the division, and it's the version that could rise again. Burns even added that if Usman pulls off this comeback, it could be the greatest redemption arc the welterweight division has seen. And in a division stacked with rising contenders, such a return wouldn't just inspire, it would intimidate. But not everyone is looking backward. Justin Gaethje is furious. He says the UFC begged him to fight Max Holloway at UFC 300. He agreed, but now feels used. He calls it an exhibition match. It had no real weight in the rankings, no relevance to the title. Meanwhile, Charles Oliveira gets a title shot despite losing 2 of his last 4. Gaethje, who beat Dustin Poirier, sits on the sidelines. He says he won't fight again unless it's for legacy or for a massive payday. His message to the UFC was loud and clear. No more favors, no more scraps. Either respect the resume or prepare to pay up. And as if the flames needed more fuel, Ilia Topuria stepped up with a personal vendetta. He wants to fight Paddy Pimblett, not for rankings, not for titles, but because, in his words, he hates him. He called Paddy a pain in the neck, a hypocrite, and says their history is unfinished. Ilia doesn't want respect. He wants a fight that feels real, a fight the fans will remember, and he's promising a brutal finish. The animosity between them has reached a boiling point, and fans can sense it. If this fight gets booked, it won't be a bout, it'll be a bloodletting. The UFC's headlines this week weren't just about fights. They were about shifting alliances, honest admissions, ghosted callouts, and the unfiltered chaos that makes this sport impossible to ignore. Everyone wants something: a belt, a payday, revenge, but only a few are willing to say it out loud, and those are the ones to watch.